Ladies and gentlemen, very, very interesting story. And it's something that could actually happen, I think, hopefully will happen. President Trump becoming Speaker of the House. Gates says he'll nominate Donald Trump to be next Speaker of the House. There are other Republicans as well who have stated they'll nominate him. He doesn't have to be a representative in Congress. Okay, this is New York Magazine. Could Trump become Speaker of the House? By a journalist who obviously doesn't like President Trump very much. Yes, this is laughable. So I'll read you the article where where even New York Magazine says it is possible. And this is something, share this segment everywhere. Hit subscribe to this channel and be here at, I'd say, about 3 p.m. today, Pacific, for the live stream. Be here for the live stream. I have a live stream every day. If you want to, so be here for the live stream today at 3 p.m. Pacific. They're awesome. We have a lot of fun. Hit subscribe to this channel. Hit subscribe to H.A. Goodman's other channel. The links are below in the pinned comment. The H.A. Goodman other channel link is in the pinned comment. And if you want to support my work long-term, my Patreon is below in the pinned comment. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll read you this. So, yes, this is laughable, but it's not impossible. First of all, sure, Republicans can retake the House in 2022. They will. At the moment, it's the smart money wager given the size of the current Democratic majority, the history of midterm House losses by the president's party, and Republican gains via reapportionment and redistricting. And here's the surprising part. If they do control the House, constitutional scholars generally agree there's no requirement that the Speaker be selected from the House membership. The possibility was thoroughly discussed back in 2015 when, for a while, Republicans couldn't find a Speaker. And if it happened and someone challenged it in the courts, said courts would almost certainly defer to Congress to make its own rules, which Republicans would then run Congress at that point. So the bigger question is are whether House Republicans would be willing to make Trump their Speaker, and whether he'd want the job, which involves actual work in an institution about which he probably knows nothing. Think of the mentality for a second. Think of the mentality of a liberal Democrat who thinks that Biden's record on everything from criminal justice, he wrote the 100-to-1 sentencing disparity part of the 94 crime bill. All the systemic injustices that people talk about, he actually drafted into law. Everything from that to foreign policy blunders and catastrophes. He voted alongside Bush, Cheney, and Rumsfeld. And then you have people with the audacity to say, oh yeah, he's bringing home Americans. No, it was Trump that did that. It was President Trump that did that. May 1st, 2021 was the timeline, not September. So I don't trust Biden at all. But he forced Biden's hand. And so, but you look, NATO intervention in Libya that caused that country to become a failed state. He was part of President Obama's administration, obviously. And you look at the arrogance, the narcissism, the hubris. President Trump presided over record low unemployment, record low Black and Latino unemployment, wage increases, the greatest wage increase in a decade, or in 10 years, greater than the prior 10 years he was in office, or greater than in 10 years prior to him becoming president. So record low unemployment, wage increases. We had a stock market doing well. We had foreign policy achievements. He was the first president to step foot in North Korea. President Moon Jae-in of South Korea stated that Trump deserved the Nobel Peace Prize. He got 3 judges, which the Republican Party should embrace his rear end forever. 3 conservative judges on the Supreme Court, hundreds of federal judges that are conservative. I mean, I'm not conservative on everything. I've become a lot more conservative on things, especially the Second Amendment. And I want Americans home from never-ending counterinsurgency conflicts, which is why it's a moral imperative, if that's what drives you, to vote for President Trump. And to look at his record from the vantage point of reality, not liberal sensibilities that state Trump as the end of the world. He did great things. Signed an executive order combating anti-Semitism on college campuses. Allocated more funding to historically black colleges and universities than any president ever. Made the funding permanent. Got a greater percentage of the non-white vote than any Republican candidate in 60 years. I'm listing these achievements. They're going in one ear out the other of most Democrats who would listen. Oh, who cares? Nobody, like the Democratic Party, liberal Democratic pundits or journalists do not care about any of these things. So they say, oh, it involves work. What do you think he was doing? If you don't like Trump, what do you think he was doing? Do you think he just stumbled upon tax cuts and a great economy? He just stumbled upon the Abraham Accords? Or just happened to miraculously, be the first president to step foot in North Korea? Or just, accidentally signed a bill, prison reform legislation, and legislation allocating more funding than any other president to HBCUs? I mean, it's like, what do you think he was doing? Just nothing? You think that, he spent less time on Twitter than AOC, and I don't hear anyone complaining about AOC and her work schedule. But anyway, given the number of House Republicans who have either voted to impeach Trump or who would just as soon see him exiled to an island in the Arctic Sea. Why? For the record low unemployment, the 3 judges on the Supreme Court, bringing home Americans, withdrawing Americans from never-ending counterinsurgency conflicts. Look at the mentality is unbelievable. It would probably take a big GOP majority in 2023 to even contemplate dashing the dreams of Trump's buddy, Kevin McCarthy. No, it wouldn't. No, it wouldn't. With all due respect to this journalist, it wouldn't. Trump runs the Republican Party, and it'll be a Trump-Republican House of Representatives. And the number of people who voted for impeachment, Liz Cheney being one of them, are either in blue states or they're like Bush Republicans, and many of them will be primaried out of politics. So there goes that theory. If he wants to become Speaker of the House, he'll become Speaker of the House. If he wants to be, they're already talking about nominating him. The articles will be below in the pinned comment. They're already talking in the description. They're already talking about nominating him, and then you have emails from the president's son that we're finding out every day. I mean, I would do segments, but then, I do a segment on it, and then people say, oh, nothing's going to happen. Nothing's going to happen. Well, there will be an impeachment payback, so you know what? They're going to impeach, almost certainly they'll impeach Biden, because he lied. More so than Trump ever did. And I could go on forever. I would love to debate anyone on that. Because you have actual emails from his son that point to him meeting people who wanted influence from the United States government. Now, the issue is the access, the fact that he's meeting people as vice president or the former vice president for business deals. You're not just selling your expertise in business. He's never run a business in his life, Biden. You're selling the notion that the U.S. government will protect you or back you. And here you have a man who gleefully boasted and stated to the world that he forced out a prosecutor. And then the absurd spin is that, well, the prosecutor wasn't doing his job. Well, that's not, even if that's true, that's not for Biden to force anyone out. It's for the Ukrainian officials to force their own prosecutors out, not a U.S. vice president. Are you kidding me? I mean, just basic logic. If you just use basic logic, you can easily refute the absurd spin from media and Democrats. Give me your thoughts below. Hit subscribe right now. Be here today at about 3 p.m. Pacific. Thank you so very much.